Hello there, and welcome to the very first episode of Arpentry 101. I am your host, Micah, but most people just call me Micah. For those of you who don't know me, from about 2003 till about 2010, I had some reasonable successes in the progressive house industry. I had a lot going on, but I needed to take a break. Now I'm back, better than ever, and things seem to be going pretty good. The purpose of Arpentry 101 is for me, industry legends, and some friends to sit down, have heart-to-hearts, talk shop, get things off our chest if we need to, and just have a nice conversation. The only thing I ask of you guys is if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Without further ado, let me please introduce you to my very first guest. The man I'm very honored to have on. Synonymous in the industry as being one of the nicest people, and I can attest to that. Please let me welcome Melbourne's very own Anthony Pappa.
Anthony Pappa. Is it Pappa or Pappa?
Pappa.
Anthony Pappa. Thank you so much for coming as my first guest on Arpentry 101. Legend in the industry. I don't even know where to start. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to chat with you and to be here. Thanks.
Absolutely. I do want to talk about this at some point. But I want to start somewhere else first, and that's Sky or Freefall.
Well, do you want me to give you an even further start, just to bring it up to before till we got there?
We'll get there, but I just wanted to say, growing up, I was probably in my about 19 when I first heard Freefall, and I had no idea until about 2 years ago you were involved.
Oh,
when
really?
When you had that, there was a thing on your Facebook about Jan playing it at a large thing, and there was a little bit of drama. I don't know, but you guys got it fixed. But I had no idea. And then
basically she was performing the track as her and our track featuring her, and I just was a bit annoyed that she didn't credit the name of the track, the artist of the track, which was a collaboration between all of us. But anyway, all good.
But what's crazy to me is that song was such a huge positive trance experience for all of us growing up, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's the Master of Darkness.
Well, there's a great story behind the Skydive track, which I'm not sure if you know or not, but I'll tell it because some people may not know. It was originally a remix for Huge Tunes.
Oh, really?
Of a track called Paradise by Myro.
I remember Myro, yeah.
Alan Bremner and myself, which are the act Freefall, were always, this is a kind of mid-90s, Huge Tunes was a huge label, big inspiration to the progressive scene and to us, and we're like, we really wanted to be on that label. So Red Jerry, the owner of the label, said, look, hey guys, I'll give you a go. You can remix this track, but it's on spec, which means, hey, if I don't like, you guys do it. If I don't like it, I'm not paying for it, and we're not going to release it. You know what? Let's do it because we really want to be on Huge Tunes.
Absolutely.
So we remixed the track as Skydive, the music is, with the vocal of Myro. And Jerry gets it and goes, I like it, but I don't like the first half of it. I like the second half. Can you go back in and redo it so it's the second half all the way through the track? And we're like, we like it the way it goes, we think it's right. And it changes to that. He's like, well, look, if you guys don't want to change it, I'm not going to use it. And we were devastated. What are we going to do? We put so much work into this. We want to be on the label. We love Huge Tunes. So at the time, I was working at Stress Records. And Jack Stephen, good friend and top bloke DJ, legend, said, look, what have you used from the original track? And we said, well, just the vocal. Pretty much the music's all ours. He goes, well, I'll tell you what to do. Take the vocal off. If Huge Tunes don't want it, get yourself another vocalist, write a song, put it on top, make it your single, and we'll release it on Stress Records as Freefall Skydive.
Whoa.
So we're like, great. Listening to, at the time, BT Remember and all these great records with Jan Johnson's vocals in it. I thought, oh, how cool would it be to get her on the record? So the label manager, Nick Brown, says, look, I'll email her management and we'll see what happens. Anyway, we sent her the track. She wrote the lyrics. We got her into the studio. We recorded the vocal, changed a couple of things, and basically made the record as Skydive.
Yeah.
And funny thing, well, not funny, we finished this on a Friday afternoon, and we were like, we work on it late all week, and we're like, my partner Alan, who's a sound mixing engineer, said, look, I'd rather come in on Monday morning with fresh ears and just check it one more time before we bounce it down and make sure it sounds right, because my ears are done. And we're like, okay, cool. So that weekend the studio got robbed.
Oh, what?
And all the equipment was stolen, and we lost everything.
Oh no.
And this track was like, we were like, this track's just never going to come out. You know, first we got the knockback, then we redid it, then the equipment got stolen, and all the samples, everything was gone. And so then, you know, it was heartbreaking. It was like, okay, like, we just need to get it back. So we got back all the parts, we redid what we remembered, and pretty much got it sounding the same again. And eventually it came out, and it ended up being the biggest thing we ever did. It went to #1. It
changed.
Released by heaps of people.
It changed everything for a lot.
It was a knockback from huge kids. So it just goes to show, if you believe in something and a label doesn't like it, you know, it doesn't mean it's not right. If you really believe in what you do and you think something's there, you know, there's always another way.
Are there any existing copies of the Myro version?
You know what? I'll send you a link. I believe someone posted an acetate rip of YouTube. So when you hear it, you're going to hear, oh my God, this is Skydive.
So does it have the Oh wow, awesome.
It's the track. We changed it a little bit because we redid it. But 95% of it is, it's the track. It's what you hear as Skydive. You'll hear the other vocal come and go, wow, that's odd. So yeah,
I can imagine. I grew up with all those old Gatecrasher trance CDs and stuff like that. Like I started with like the very first Platypus CD and all those things.
We never knew, as you do as an artist, you know, when you make a record, you know, you want it to do well, you want good things to come from it, but you never really know what it's going to be until it comes out and it does its thing.
Yeah.
And we never knew at the time what we did was going to be what it became. It was just, you know, we were just writing a record that we wanted to write, and you know, it's been talked about as the first vocal trance, or one of the biggest iconic vocal trance records of its time, that kind of started a lot of trancey, progressive trance vocal track.
If I think back, like other than the BT stuff, like it is the most iconic trance track of all time for the beginning. Yeah.
BT was a huge influence on the progressive scene, and certainly for us, and also with Sasha. And you know, if I'm letting a little bit of a secret out here, our main inspiration, which we kind of referenced to, was Sasha's remix of BT. Remember?
Oh, really? Jazz. Yeah.
If you hear that, you might see, I can see where they got some influences and ideas from. That's kind of what I was taking in the studio, listening to, going, yep, okay, we need to sound like that. We need to do that. And that's kind of, you know, you get your inspiration from tracks you listen to, you like.
I'll have to listen.
And that was for that record.
I'd have to listen back to remember. It's kind of fuzzy in my mind, but Freefall is definitely.
Yeah, and we listen to it, you'll probably go, oh, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so tell me more about Stress Records. Like, how did you get involved with that? Like,
brief history. I started DJing when I was 13, bought my first turntables, lived in Australia till 21, and then moved to the UK in May 1995, and managed to get myself a job working at DMC, also Stress Records, also same office as Mixmag, through my connection with Dave Seaman, actually, because we'd become friends from him touring in Australia. So I went over there, and he's like, look, you know, we don't really have a job going, but if you want to come in and kind of help out, and it wasn't like a lot of money, but it was like, you know, it'd be a great place for you to be centered, to learn a lot about the labels, the industry, studios. So what better place could you ask for to work at, where you could be amongst people like that? They were doing the DMC, Mixmag, update, the buzz chart, all the music was being sent to the office, all the promos, you know, being around people like Dave Seaman and learning a lot from what he knew in the UK industry, and learning about the label, learning about meeting people, learning about the studio house. It was great. It taught me a lot. Look, I knew what I knew as a DJ, but it opened my world to the industry, how it works in other areas. magazine, press,
Absolutely.
labels, studios, and taking all that in was at such a young age was really crucial to opening my eyes and my knowledge to a lot of to what I learned and know today started then really. So it was great to be there. It was a fantastic label to work for. The music that they released was definitely what I was into and what I was playing. So it was perfect. Good timing, good times, and a good place to be.
What I was kind of getting at before about when I was talking about your new breed is how did you transition to be like, for me, you were one, like John was kind of doing the darkness, but your new breed was like the starting of dark prog for me. Like I'd never heard anything like it. Like that Timo Mass remix and all that stuff, like such iconic vibes in it, and it's
I've always
amazing.
liked the kind of style within the progressive sound. I mean, I like towards the late 90s, it got very fast BPM, melodic, almost bordering on trance.
Yeah.
And I was just starting to buy and being sent these tracks in the late night. I started compiling that album in late 1999, and it was like a new wave without even realizing it probably at the time. It was like, this is cool, this is fresh, this is different, which is always what you're kind of looking for as a DJ, to try and find the new thing or something.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is a cool track. What's cool about it? Well, it's not doing what the other stuff does. It's different, but it still does what it needs to do. So it just started from a bunch of tracks like that. And then there's my DJ head, how I key everything and put things together. And it was the best of what music I could find at the time that was cutting edge new, and it just seemed to be the end of the 90s era of that melodic prog.
Yeah.
Kind of dubbier, darker, deeper, techier, some breaks. It was just like, okay, that 90s, this is where 2000's going to go. Not intentionally, but that's just the way it came across, because it kind of stamped its authority as this is the new sound. And it's perfect because it was new style, new sound, new breed, new beginnings. It was the whole concept and timing of the album and the word. It was perfect.
It's one of my foundations for sure, especially with my dark side. I remember when I was just coming out into the industry, it was pretty melodic, as you're saying, but I wasn't really well known until about 2000. I got signed to Chris Cowie's label, Hook, or UG. UG.
Yeah, the Scottish label.
Yeah, and that kind of gave me the sensibilities for the tech house, at the time, the tech trance type sound. I just learned, or just merged all of what I wanted to make and turned it into my own sound.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful for those early days, because I got not as famous as you, but I got pretty popular, and I was touring and doing some cool stuff. So
you just had a track signed to Bedrock, or
no. Balance, and thanks to you. I was going to bring that up later, but you're
famous, but it's good to be recognised for all the hard work and things that you do, that you put so many years and hours and blood and sweat into learning craft and being what you do. So
that was a huge reason why I kind of left for 10 years, is like at the time when things started going downhill for me was when like everybody started playing a little bit more electro sounds, and I was so into my like high energy prog, dark prog, all that stuff, and it just kind of drove me nuts that why do I have to start playing ball when I can't just be myself? And I didn't realize at the time, because I was young, that I should have just kept being myself,
Yeah. I think it's important as an artist to always be you and believe in what you do. But, you're always going to hear things. Music's going to change as it does. It evolves and trends change. It doesn't mean you have to like it. But if it's a new thing that's coming in, maybe you embrace it in a way where, you don't have to play what everyone else is doing, but it's your version of what you think is right at the time.
Yeah.
But I think personally, musically, in the late 2000s, I don't think music was in a good spot then anyway, you know.
No,
It
I
kind of went
think
from melodic to dark to dubby, then it kind of got lost a little bit.
I liked some of the minimal stuff, like the
Yeah,
Samim heater. Like that was a good. It had a really good vibe, but I think that kind of brought prog to its knees. Like,
yeah,
and it's still maintained in most of the promo I hear.
yeah,
It's just this droning, atmospheric, rhythmic. There's not much going on, and I mean everybody's allowed to make whatever the hell they want, but
exactly.
to
But
me, I think people need to start pushing the boundaries again and make it a little bit more exciting.
I think that they tried to go so kind of cool and down that avenue with that sound where it was cool for a bit, but to me it just got boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the DJ started just playing that, and it doesn't matter what style of music you play. If you play the set of one style, it's going to be boring. You know, I've always,
Absolutely.
as a bit my kind of style and train of thought as a DJ is when you start a set, you kind of want to make it a journey. You want to maybe start slower, deeper, build it somewhere, and it leads somewhere, which means
Absolutely.
going through deep house, tech house, progressive to techno or breaks or whatever. And if you put all that into a set and play it well and make it all work together, that's going to be a lot more interesting to listen to or dance to than just hearing minimal bleepy things for 2 hours.
Yeah,
It gets boring. So
absolutely. I remember.
the tracks are okay that you were talking about, but I'd only use them in a portion or as part of a performance or set, and then build on or move from that. You know.
Yeah, I
So
remember. I remember some of my greatest gigs. I started super minimal, like feeding off of the intro DJ, and
yeah,
then just built to the biggest, craziest, massivest techno you could even think of. That stuff
yeah,
that's not even associated with me,
yeah,
and I had the best nights of my life
yeah,
because
yeah.
people are screaming and stomping and cheering, and like you need to read the room and like take those chances and just make people explode. That's what I want.
you DJing properly and playing what's required at the time to the moment and making it go to what's needed, you know, and still doing
Absolutely.
it might not you might not be known as techno, either am I, but we still do play techno at the right
Yep.
time when needed because like we do like some of it, but we're not techno DJs, you
No.
know. So yeah. Look,
I
it's all
wrote. I wrote.
playing the right thing at the right time and knowing when to play it and having that experience, as you said, to read a room and look at the dance floor and work out, okay, was this working? Is it not? I need to go more like that or like that. Well, a lot of kids these days, or other DJs, it's just about doing their thing and not giving a shit how it's actually going out on the dance floor or how vibrant the
Yeah.
room is, and that's important. You need to. People are there to enjoy themselves. You need to entertain them, not just do what you want to do and not give a shit.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think, and that was another thing that was in the back of my head I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
I really like playing my own music.
Yeah.
Is that
You
is
should
that
do your music.
cocky?
Is
Well,
it,
I but is it cocky for somebody like I have a lot of material and
Yeah.
like if I was to get flown out somewhere and I played a 2-hour set of my own music, would people care?
I don't think
Like,
it's cocky. Look, Robert Babich is a good example of this. He only plays his own music.
which Robert? Sorry.
Robert Babich.
Oh yeah, yeah, great.
And
Yeah,
I never knew this. I went and saw him at a gig in Melbourne 2 or 3 years ago, and was talking to his manager. I was like, I said, "Can you put me on the list? I'd love to go and say hello." And I don't think I've really met him properly in person. And he said, "Oh, he'd love you to come." So I went to the gig, and the next day I was like, "Wow, he was really cool. I loved what he played." He goes, "Oh, did you know everything he plays is his own music?" I said, "No, I didn't know that."
Hmm.
And it's the first time I've thought, because usually when people play their own music, it's a live performing their tracks. I've never seen a DJ with just their own music that's had enough current good new music to do a full set. I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, So I don't think there's anything wrong with playing your own music if your music's look. The people that may have booked you for say because they want you and your sound, and that's your music
Yeah.
is your sound. And if you've got enough of your own new stuff that ticks the boxes, like we said before, about actually playing what's right for the room to play to the people, why not? If you're able to do that, go for it.
Well, I mean, I get promo from a lot of the same outlets that you do, and I mean, if there's a great song, of course I'll play it. But my general, as you said, my general philosophy when I go out is to be like a band.
Yeah,
It's me going and showcasing what I want to play, and I do like my music, and I guess maybe that's the cocky thing. But
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Digweed won't go out and play a 2-hour set of bedrock remixes, but he will play a lot of stuff from his label, which I would say is his sound because it's tracks that he's signing, but also mixed with likes that are hot at the time. So, nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Man. If it's working, who's anyone to tell you any different?
Well, I haven't been anywhere to DJ in over 10 years, but I'm hoping. I mean, with how you helped me with balance, I'm hoping that leads to a point where you know I'm on the same stage as you, and I'm opening up for you or something like that. Like I hope it goes there.
It can definitely happen. Never say never. I mean, the fact that you're making great records and great labels wanting to put them out.
Thank you.
It just makes your name appear back into where it should be, and that's how gigs happen. You're doing great stuff. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm loving your music, your tracks, the tracks you're doing with Keys. I know you're doing a few different collaborations. There's I don't know if I'm allowed to say, a new track with a special vocalist.
Kiki Cave. We'll just tell everybody now. Like I was shopping it to John at Bedrock.
Yeah.
And I think he listened to it a couple times, but we just kind of got a little stir crazy, and I told you about it, and then the day after my live DJ set, I got an email from Tom, and I knew when I got that email that you had said something after coming on my set. I had a feeling in my bones. Yeah.
You said that, I said, what if John doesn't want it? What are your thoughts? Because I know people with a lot of labels that I have personal direct contact with.
Yeah.
And I really like balance, and I was like, okay, well, I'll put you guys in touch. So that the rest was all about you delivering the goods. Because if he didn't like the track, he would have signed it. But look, I think it was definitely a good enough track to be on Bedrock. But with John, you never know. He's got that many tracks to choose from that he gets sent. And who knows the release schedule, how far forward he's already.
Yeah, but I mean,
it doesn't mean it wasn't the right track. It just maybe he just couldn't do it.
I might sound a little tinfoil hat here, but before I left the industry, like he was playing my remix of Slacker Psych Out, quite a bit, and that I was at that point in my career, I was very full of myself.
Right.
I was, and I almost kind of went insane when John started playing it, and I really wanted to get in his good books. And I just kept sending him everything to a certain email constantly, and he finally just kind of stopped, and I realized, like, oh my God, I gotta calm down. And so that might affect how John sees me. I don't know, but I mean, I'm over all that weirdness I went through. Like, yeah, sure, I get anxiety, but I've learned to cope with all of it, and it's gone. Like, I'm just.
Older, you've been doing this for a bit longer like we have, you kind of learn to think, well, okay, maybe he doesn't like it. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
He had it. He had the chance. Or else. But when you're younger, you're like, I have to be on this label. I want him to sign it. And you just and you're pushing and pushing and pushing. And
no, and it does spark the anxiety, and I don't want that anxiety at all. I just want to be. I want to send it to a label. Like anybody wants. I want to send it to a label. They listen first, and second, they respond. That's all I want. Good or bad, just a response.
Just getting a response is
yes.
Because you don't get it, or you're thinking, have they got it? What do they think? Why haven't they called me back? Why have they not emailed me? It's like, well, hey, it only takes a few minutes to yes or no.
Yeah.
To the person, look.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do like it, or it's not right, or whatever, and just let them move on. I've always got time to reply because I know what it's like to be on the receiving end. And if the person sends you a track, you listen to music. And my job is to listen to music and work out what's good, what I want to play, whatever. The least I can do is say, thank you, I like it, I don't like it. Thanks for sending it. Maybe send me something, keep me in mind for future stuff, whatever.
That's one thing that I've actually talked about with other people in the industry, is that we all appreciate how you do respond. Even if you don't like something, I want to hear what you don't like. I want that feedback. I want to know why you don't like it. And I mean, it's only been a couple or one or two in the past years since I've been sending you stuff, but it helps me as a producer, especially one who I go very deep into when I'm writing. I want those little tiny things that I can tweak and change to make to not to make you specifically happy, to just so I have that information, know.
Hey, what my reply to or comments on certain things might be what you were thinking or you weren't sure about, or maybe it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but no, I still think this is right. But it's just good to have that feedback, and then it gives you some other people to think, because you know what it's like when you've been working on the same track day after night, and you kind of get that used to it, that you kind of can get sucked into the sound of it without realizing it from a fresh set of ears perspective. Someone going that just hears it goes, no, that's not right, because you've heard it many times. You get that used to it. You start to. It might be right, it might not be right, an element of a track, but you've heard it that many times that you can't see past that.
No, you get numb. You get numb.
That happens to a lot of producers. I've been in that same position. So I think feedback's good from that point of view, to get a fresh perspective on it from another person who you know will listen to it as you would listen to it, that understands it from where you're coming from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's incredible. I don't want to go down a dark path, but I really don't know much about your car accident. Was it pretty terrible? Like,
I was living in the UK for almost 20 years. I came back to Australia in 2014 and kind of was a bit depressed for a year or so. I didn't really know. I knew I wanted to come back to Australia because it was where my home and family and friends are, and I wasn't doing much in the UK. Most of my gigs were around the world.
Yeah.
So I figured, why am I in England now? I get on planes to go everywhere. I know Australia's further from everywhere. I can still fly and do tours. I might as well be around people that I'm close to, who I haven't seen for many years. So I made the decision to come back. Then I came back and I started doubting my move. Have I made the right choice coming home? How maybe I shouldn't have come back. I was over there. You're in Europe. You're closer to everything, and I kind of didn't do as many gigs, and I got a bit depressed, and I was down. And when you're not thinking clearly and you're down, you're not, your head's not in a good, positive, strong position. You just get a bit confused and blurry. And unrelated to my accident, this was 2014-15. In 2016, I had a car accident. It was pretty bad. It was like 60 miles an hour head on.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, kind of to the point where as it's approaching, you think, "Oh shit, this is it. I'm gone." End off. No. And I broke both my legs. I broke my arm. I broke my back.
Oh my god!
I was in a wheelchair for 4 months, and I had to learn how to walk again.
Oh my!
And I was broken. My whole everything stopped, but it made me focus on me. It made me realize what's important. It made me, the depression thing went out the window, because I was like, okay, you start to realize how, not that I didn't take anything for granted, but how precious the little things are, the things that mean something to you.
That's amazing, because I would expect somebody who was at the top of his game, you were depressed, and then to get in an accident and have his life change like that, to go even deeper into depression. That's amazing.
No, that's amazing. It was the complete opposite for me. It was
wow.
It was like, you realize what you love, what you miss, what's important, what's not important, the people who you are your friends, or your other friends that aren't really your friends. It just makes you see everything from a new perspective. You feel like you're given it when you think you're going to go and you're lucky to survive. you're grateful that you're still here. It's a second chance. You're grateful to be alive. Let alone, it doesn't matter what you do. You're just happy that you're alive.
Absolutely.
And that positive energy, which was always in me anyway, just came back harder and stronger. And by just working on the simple things, which was what I had to do for me, everything else was clear and fell into place. There was no more, I don't know what to do. It was like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. And over the last few years, I've just been building and building again, rebuilding, as they say. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's like kind of pretty much when the same time when I was at my lowest point was about 5 years ago. I was at the end.
Yeah.
And then
but we came through.
Yeah. And now here we are. I'm doing better than I've ever done in my entire life.
I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Absolutely.
I'm the strongest. I'm the more, my head is more focused and clearer than what it's ever been. I'm happy in my personal life. And, anything that comes to me now, I feel like it's a blessing or a bonus. I've been there. I've done it all before, as you have. I've got nothing to prove. I've DJed all over the world. I've played all the clubs, festivals, been there, done it, got the T-shirt. Now it's just, it's a blessing. So whatever comes, I'm grateful.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to touch on is maybe that's why you and I have gotten along so well in the past year, is we're not pushing against the flow.
No. Exactly.
There's so many guys out there right now with such a negative ball of static in their hearts, and it's hard to get any kind of like, I just want to be people's friends,
Yeah.
Sure, I'm good at what I do, and I have my own thing, but I'm always open to new things. Like, look, I'm starting a talk show. Like, who am I to start a talk show? Here I am with Anthony Pappa. Like,
I want to talk to them. Why not make it happen? It's cool. Yeah, I think as you're saying, you having that mindset that we both seem to have. You see a lot of the other negative stuff on social media. It's to me, it stands out like dog's balls. It's like, and in some ways I can say, I used to be like that a long time ago. I might have thought that way. And it's just that maturity, that moving past that point, the new outlook, whatever you want to call it. It's just, just doing things from a fresh perspective, but having all the years of experience and knowledge and skills that we have to back it up.
Yeah.
And not, and not really care what anyone else thinks. Just doing it because you want to do it.
Well, I mean, I cared a lot this past year. I felt like I met a lot of adversity, except from people like you. Like you were very open, but I felt I'm a lot of guys who were pretty much on the same par as me 10 years ago. Are up here now, and I'm starting at the bottom again. And they were kind of just mean. Yeah. Not mean or. Yeah. The whole gamut of anything, like all over the place. And I just was able to step back probably around the winter and go, I'm good. I have good friends in the industry that can help me. Yeah. So just do what you really want. Send it to the people that want to hear it. Yeah. And that's all that matters. Yeah. Because as long as you put that positivity into what you're doing, then it's going to work out, in my opinion.
Focus on the positives. Focus on what you can control, not what you can't control. Who cares what other people think? They're entitled to their opinion, but so what?
Yeah. So what?
I don't care who's here. This is what I wanted to do. I know you. You're my friend. Great. If any bullshit, I can't be bothered with that shit. I've done it.
Yeah.
Whatever. See you later. Just stay on the positive path and do what's right for you and what makes you happy, and be surrounded by good people.
Absolutely.
Don't let the crap settle in, because there's too much negative stuff on social media that you never had to deal with. It wasn't really a thing then. You knew who your friends were because you saw them, you spoke to them. You saw them at a venue or you caught up with them. It wasn't about I'll tag you and you're my real friend, my fake friend, or a social media, whatever. That's all. A lot of it's all fake. We use it because it's where we're at in the world. It's where technology is. It's where we're at today. And I don't go on social media just to I don't know. I just go out to talk about what I'm doing, to look at some of my friends' posts. It's not just. I try to steer clear of all the rubbish that's on there because
Absolutely.
that can suck you in and bring you down, and just steer clear of all that. That's
Oh, I mean, we haven't even touched on COVID,
yeah,
but I mean, I right when it hit, I kind of had a dip,
yeah,
and I didn't do anything for about 3 months. But I make it a point to never post anything negative on Facebook. If I do, I
yeah,
erase
yeah,
it. If I don't like it, I erase it. I don't want people to see my neuroses or anything like that. I just positivity, just so people get the best of you.
yeah.
Everybody has a dark side. Everybody has weird things going on in their head, but we
Life
shouldn't be
will,
sharing it, I don't think.
life will give you ups and downs. It's how you choose to deal with it, and how you learn or live with it, and how you move forward.
Yeah.
So look, COVID's been shit for everyone.
Yeah,
It has
absolutely.
been stuffed, and I've been doing more live streams and podcasts, and as much as I can do from home. One, because it's what I love doing anyway, and I usually do monthly mixes. But two, it's something to look forward to, something to do, and the people are enjoying the entertainment value of being able to watch someone perform for them. So don't do it
Absolutely.
asking for money or pay. I'm home. I've got the gear. I'll do a mix, and hopefully some people will like it.
I did that mix 2 weeks ago, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I
There
did,
you go. Yeah, I caught a bit of it, even though it was middle of the night for me. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It was just like, because I love DJing. I
yeah,
love DJing in front of people, and I like talking to the people that are involved in who are into what I'm doing, and
yeah.
it just felt right doing. Oh, sorry, your window keeps jumping around here.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep doing it until
Great.
forever.
I think you did a great job, and from what I could see, you were having fun and you were talking to people as you were playing tracks, and it was very interactive. It was cool. It was nice.
I honestly I haven't watched too many because I've been busy with work and writing, but
Yep.
I thought everybody was sitting there chatting with their with their fans. But I don't know. I liked it. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
it was cool.
it's a nice vibe. Like I really like hearing, oh, that's a nice track,
Yeah,
or something like that. Like I had a couple freakouts and people called me on it saying, oh, don't worry about it. Nobody could hear it. Like, you know, like it's great. I love it. Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. You did really good.
Thank you. I have to. The Q channel, like of course the
Yeah,
Q channel is getting ported through the stream, so people are
right,
hearing me queue up the tracks. So I have a few ideas for the next one to lessen that.
right.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Okay, cool. Hey, well, I'm learning every time I do one of these streams that the whole tech side of it, the
Yeah,
video, the Facebook streaming, the cut-offs. It's all new world territory to us. We've never had to perform this way before, and we're learning as we go. But I think we're doing a
well, even the video that I'm capturing of us talking is jumping
yeah.
all over the place. Hopefully, it's not all a jumble when I press it out to the full.
The image, the camera.
Your window has been jumping around, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
All that matters is people will be able to see you and hear you, and yeah,
Is
it's
the
all good.
image clear? Can you? Is it blurry or?
No. I won't be able to tell the final quality until I watch
Okay.
the video at
Okay.
the end. Anyways, maybe we'll wrap it up, and
Okay.
anything you want to talk about?
Man, just thank you for having me on your show, your first interview. I'm happy
Yeah,
to be here to chat to you and to know you as a friend as well as an
absolutely.
awesome producer.
I'm
Um,
I'm very blessed that I had the idea, and you were the
yeah,
first person I thought of, and you were the first person to say yes. I've got
thank you.
a bunch of other cool guys lined up,
Yeah,
but I'm really happy that this is the first one because I
yeah,
think we just had an amazing conversation.
it was great. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was very,
and mate,
very relaxing, very natural, mate. Just two friends
good,
having a chat.
absolutely, and that's the point of the
Yeah.
show. I mean, yeah. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll let you know when I have this up
Okay,
online.
thank you so much, mate.
Thanks, Anthony.
See ya.
Talk to you later.